From the Crush Studio in sunny Florida, this is the Disney Crush Podcast. And now your two tempests in a teacup, Dave and Toni-Ann.
On episode 304 of the Disney Crush, Toni-Ann goes to Walt Disney World. A one-day trip somehow morphs into 2 days. How does that even happen? I think somebody was having a good time with some of our friends. Come along as we find out all the details of her trip this week on the show. Well, I'm sure you had an exciting time, evidently, because somehow it morphed into 2 days. A one-day trip ended up being a 2-day trip. And actually, you said to me, Dave, I'm coming back tomorrow morning. And tomorrow morning even morphed into tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There was somebody that I live with that was not happy about that.
Not happy about that morphing into itself into extended time periods?
Yeah.
Well, let me just say, did you stop on the way home and get him some fried chicken?
No.
Ooh, that even hurts even more. He was probably...
he told me not to.
Oh,
he told me not
okay.
to. No.
Oh, okay. Is he speaking? It's been a week now. Is he speaking to you yet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. David. So how you doing, Dave?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Is there any breaking news? I know you right before the podcast you were looking for something. Did you find it?
I thought I had something, but I guess it was just that the trams are coming back eventually. Eventually, they just said they're coming back to Epcot and Hollywood. But yeah,
eventually.
I'm surprised. Like Epcot, I'm surprised that they started with Animal Kingdom and Magic. Obviously, Magic makes sense, but Epcot's parking lot is so much bigger than Animal Kingdom's. Animal Kingdom's parking lot is easy to walk.
Well, Hollywood too, really. I mean, you think about it, Magic Kingdom and Epcot are the two that really deserve to have them first.
Right.
Yes.
But Disney doesn't do things the way that we see fit.
No, they don't. No.
Because Josh doesn't actually take any of my advice when we talk.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I think he's so mesmerized by me that he can't hear what I'm saying. Like he loses track of what I've said to him.
Yeah, that's probably it. I mean, he gets starstruck talking to Toni.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Dave, I have something. So that was really on the news, but I do have something. But I've been like slumming around in Reddit instead of Facebook. So I actually have the good, the bad, and the ugly of Reddit.
Well, that's funny you say that because I've been kind of going on Reddit way more than I ever have either. The same.
Mm-hmm.
I've been going on it way more than I ever have before.
See?
Oh, I'm sorry. Was that supposed to be a lead in right there?
No, it's just, how you been? I haven't seen, when was the last time we saw each other? I guess the day after my 75, so August 5th was the last day I saw you.
I was supposed to make it to the trip, but we couldn't, this 2-day trip that would have morphed into. Yeah, it's probably a better thing because we would have left. We'd have left you there.
Well, I wouldn't have stayed if you were with me.
Oh, that's true.
My other friends are a bad influence compared to you. You would be like, Rich is waiting. We're going home.
Maybe not.
Know. Can I just tell? Well, we'll get into my trip report, but Samantha is a bad influence because it wasn't just me that stayed. There were other people that stayed longer that weren't planning on staying.
Well, that seems to be kind of the norm with this group. Yeah. People come when they last minute, they'll make a trip out when they find out people are there, and then their trips get extended. Yeah. We're going to find out about that here shortly. So you got any breaking news this week? Did you ever find it? No news? Okay. You got any Facebook this week? Anything?
I have read it.
Oh, okay.
On this week's The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly of Reddit.
Bing. Are there any places inside Walt Disney World with access to PhotoPass photographers that could pass for the inside of a Star Wars ship? It doesn't actually have to be in the Star Wars area, as long as the photo looks like it was taken inside of a Star Wars ship. Galaxy's Edge itself, while they have several PhotoPass photographers, does not have them in either of the two guest-accessible spaceship interiors because they are part of ride queues. It is extremely important to me to get a professional photo of my Star Wars persona inside a ship during my next visit, whenever that gets scheduled. I'm okay with it not being authentic Star Wars as long as it looks the part. I don't know anyone, myself included, good enough photoshopping to take such a picture, or to fake such a picture. So this person has a whole Star Wars getup they're planning to wear. They have a Star Wars persona, Dave.
Well, do they have a split personality?
I guess so, but they want a photopass photographer to take a picture of them inside a spaceship, or something that looks like a spaceship.
Oh, okay.
And I think the answer is no. I don't think there are any interior photopass photographers anywhere that looks like space.
No, she's going to have to get on the Millennium Falcon and just do a selfie.
Right. She's going to have to have somebody.
Why can't you just do that?
A friend take a picture.
Yeah.
Actually, and the Millennium Falcon, they are like, quick, get in your seat, get in your seat. So.
Yeah. She could snap a real quick selfie. Come on. I mean, that's in a ship.
This is Facebook. The party has started, the Halloween parties, which will be followed by the Christmas parties. And so the posts have started. Hello, I am in Magic Kingdom right now. I just found out it closes at 6 p.m. Does anyone know why? Yes. If you're going to Magic Kingdom in the next 3 months, what was it? August, September, October, November, December, in the next 4 months, check the park hours because there are Halloween parties. The park may be closing at 6.
Well, here's one. I'm going to the Halloween party and I'm going to be in the park. Do I have to leave the park and then come back in the park?
No, there are places inside the park where you can get your wristband. Yes, they have areas.
Little hubs around it. Yes, you do.
Tomorrowland, I know, and Adventureland and Fantasyland. So, yeah. Here's another Reddit. The Cosmic Rewind preloading area show is very annoying now. I hate the alcoholics trend. You get to the first room and everyone feels like they have to bunch up to the front of the loading area. When you go into the second room, people bunch up to the right even more than the previous room. But the person is complaining that people, when Terry Crews asks, does anybody know what they call themselves? He says he's been there several times and people have yelled alcoholics. I've heard, day drinkers, because the Disney Day Drinkers group is very big in Epcot. I've heard people say geeks. I've heard people say crushers. But I don't think that's quite as often as the others. But I can see how that could be annoying to people who have never ridden it before. And I got to tell you, the thing that annoys me more than that is the people that word for word say what is being said on the screen, because that's very distracting to someone who's never seen it before. And it's kind of rude to someone who's never seen it before. I didn't realize how bad until I went with Dominic for the first time, and Dominic had never ridden Guardians. This was his first time. And there was a woman standing next to us, word for word, saying everything in the pre-show. And it was really distracting for him. So I think you should think about that before you do it. Not everybody gets to go to Disney all the time like we do. So there are people who are riding it for the first and possibly only time, and you're being a jerk. So think about that. I don't know. I guess the same could be said of Haunted Mansion, and I'm guilty of there's always my way.
Yeah, it seems like, but you don't go on and on. But see, that's different because Guardians has a lot of talk, there's a lot of speech in that.
This lady was word for word for word. Yeah.
Now, you mentioned a minute ago about people bunching up. Now, this happens in so many of the rides, especially when you have different rooms to go to.
Yeah.
It happens in Haunted Mansion because once you go often enough, you know where the door is going to open. It happened.
Under the Umbrella Girl.
Yeah. Rock and Roller Coaster in the room before you get in the limo. Everybody wants to be, and it happens at Rise of the Resistance. I can go on and on and on and on. And it's like, okay, so you got what, 15 people ahead of everybody else?
It's really not a big deal.
It's not a big deal.
It's not, especially on Guardians. It's really not a big deal. And I rather just hang back. And first of all, they miss half of the the pre-show. They missed the whole thing with, when the Guardians come on the screen. People are rushing toward the door and they're missing what, the cake toast, what the Guardians are
they've
saying.
probably seen it, Tony, and enough times they're like, I don't care about watching this because they don't really pay attention. They're just talking to each other and they're just waiting for those doors to open. But I'm the same way.
It's really not that big a deal.
We just kind of lay back and hang back and then let them all rush in and have at it. Go for it. So the festival is going on now, and we've been watching all the kiosks and stuff, and Kenya showed up again, and I'm wanting those shrimp.
And Wendy Fox was at Disney this weekend, and she said that was her favorite thing she had. Now, this was the first day. This was her first time there at the festival. The day I talked to her, she had just been the day before, and she said that the shrimp at Kenya was her favorite thing on that. From that one trip. I'm sure now she's tried more things because she's hanging out there with her family. But I always loved the Kenya booth. I remember that time I was a little bit tipsy and I went in the back into the kitchen to tell them, you were my favorite booth of the whole day.
Yeah, you had something to tell them, didn't you?
You were with me.
Yeah. Well, I'm like, go for it, girl. You want to go tell them? You tell them. I'm right behind you. I'm going to parrot what you're saying because they are good.
Right.
Yeah, that was
right.
We could have just hung out there.
This was 2 years ago, so I don't know if it's still the best.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out.
That was at the 50th anniversary. That was on October 1st, 2021, when we were there on opening day of Remy. That was the day you spilled that margarita on top of all that merch.
Why? I don't know why you got to bring that up. I have a habit of spilling drinks on people, on merch. Yeah, it's just something I do. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Looking forward to getting back to Walt Disney World. Can't wait till this trip comes up. It's been too long since I've been there. The heat is one thing we talk about all the time, and I'm not. Yeah. But I'm going to sacrifice it because I need my Disney fix so I can see my friends and then hide away in some AC.
Well, that's basically what I did this weekend. Samantha's birthday was Saturday and a bunch of people were there. I think it was originally supposed to be a solo trip for Heidi, and somehow a whole slew of people showed up and it turned into something else. It turned into Samantha's birthday. So, it was Samantha's birthday. It's Samantha's birthday every year. So,
And if you're new to the show, Samantha is been a friend of ours for quite a few years. All these people we're going to talk about are basically friends of ours that we've had and met through the podcast. And we all meet up in the parks.
They were staying at Kidani Village, Animal Kingdom Kidani Village, and they were going to Epcot on Saturday. So the plan was we were going to go to Sanaa after Epcot. So I decided I'm just going to park my car at Kidani Village because that's where Sanaa is. And I'll take the bus to Epcot, and then when we go back to Sanaa, I'll have my car there. That was the plan. I went to Animal Kingdom Lodge. I got to the desk, the guard shack. I told them who I was visiting. They asked me for the room number, which I didn't have, but he let me in. He did eventually let me in. So if you're going to go visit a friend at Disney, having their room number gets you through the gate a lot faster. I don't know.
Did he have to look up her name or what?
Yeah, he looked up her name.
Okay.
He looked up Rebecca's name. But it's really funny because when we were at TDC, I parked at the boardwalk and Deirdre had put me on her room so that I could park at the boardwalk, and she put me on her room, and I got to the guard shack and I said, I'm here to visit and he just said, oh, yeah, go ahead. Like I didn't even get her name out. I think it's just your mileage may vary. It depends on who the guard is, what day it is, and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I parked at Kidani. I took the bus to Epcot. I came in the front. As you know, when you go through the turnstiles, the tap stiles, and you do your finger scan, you never want to be in the same line as me, because whatever line I'm in is the absolute worst line. The family of 27 in front of you with no park reservations, that's always who I wind up behind. And that's exactly what happened on Saturday. I walked up. There wasn't that many people in front of me, But the people that were in front of me had no clue what they were doing.
Now, were the other lines all that long that you couldn't
They
just like
looked
jump
long.
in?
The other lines were longer, but they moved faster. So I actually, yes, I'm always in the wrong line. That's just me. So, now you guys have to remember that I do intermittent fasting. So I hadn't eaten at this point because I usually don't eat until after 10. I was feeling a little hungry, but the line at Connections Cafe at the Starbucks was ridiculous. So I wound up not eating that morning. So I just extended my fast a little bit.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, we had individual lightning lane. No, we did. I did not have individual lightning lanes. My friends had individual lightning lanes because they were staying on property and they were able to get them at 7 a.m. I did have a VQ with them. So they went and rode with their individual lightning lanes. And I sat in Connections with our friend Kate Merrow, and we talked about life and whatnot and waited for them to get back. And they did. So the people that were, you want to know who was there?
Don't leave anybody out.
Yeah, that's always what happens. So Maine was there, which was Heidi, Holly, and Kate. Wendy Fox was there, and her husband John. That morning, actually, I have a picture. Trey Noland, our friend from Alabama. You know, you love Alabama because you're from Alabama.
North Alabama is beautiful. Well, all of Alabama is beautiful, but North Alabama is even the beautifulest.
So he was there. Samantha Kuhn, whose birthday it was. Rebecca Rudin. That other guy, Glenn something, he was there. Amanda Lamb, Jen Wynn. And I think I got everyone. And I said Samantha, right? So, yeah. So they were all there. And we took a group picture because we remembered. Later in the trip, later that day, we were joined by Madison Pickle and her husband, Jordan, and Laura Nothnagel. They all joined a little bit later in the day.
Well,
so,
you know who wasn't there?
Dave Youngward.
And Veronica.
Was at Pet Love getting his cats.
Yes.
Cut off. So we did ride Guardians together. The second time through, we rode on the VQ. And by that time, Madison and Jordan had landed. Madison and Jordan were coming for the day. They had like an 8:00 flight. And then they had a 4:00 flight home. That was their plan. They were coming for Samantha's birthday. They flew in Saturday morning and were flying back out Saturday afternoon. Well, I think their flight was at 6, but they had to go for the airport for 4. So they had kind of the same plan as me, but they didn't buy park tickets because it was just going to be one day. So we decided we'd meet them elsewhere. We took the monorail to the Contemporary. Now, David, do I know my way around Walt Disney World?
I think fairly well. Yes, I would say yes.
And do I sing the praises of the resort monorail versus the express monorail?
On a consistent basis, yes.
Yeah. So we went from Epcot to the TTC, as you do, with the intention of taking the resort monorail to the Contemporary. I was with Samantha, Rebecca, and that Glenn, I think is his name. They were following me because our friend Samantha says I walk ahead all the time. Is that true? Do I walk ahead?
Yeah, you kind of do. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and they just followed me, and we got up the ramp, and I said, there's a lot of people online for the resort monorail. That's unusual. Usually I'm the only one getting on the resort monorail. So we got on the monorail, and I realized the monorail was going in the wrong direction. And I was like, oh my God, I just led you guys onto the express monorail.
Oh, you did not?
Yeah, we went up on the express. We went through the Contemporary, but we didn't stop at the Contemporary. So we stopped at Magic Kingdom, and then we walked to the Contemporary, which was fine. We walked. And, if it had been a year ago when my knee was killing me, I would have been hating life. But
yeah.
But it was an easy walk, so it wasn't that big a deal. But yeah, it probably was still faster because when you take the resort monorail, you stop at the Poly, you stop at the Grand Flow, you stop at Magic Kingdom, and then you get to the Contemporary.
Got to stop everywhere.
So it might have been actually faster to do it. I'm going to say that was my plan all along.
Yeah, but it's just the crowd. That's
that I didn't mess up.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we had seats though. It was like 11 o'clock in the morning, so it wasn't that busy. Maybe even closer to noon.
Mhm.
So we went to Steakhouse 71, which is not my favorite place to go. But we went to the lounge. Now, I told you I hadn't eaten.
Mhm.
So we got to the lounge and I ordered their stack burger and I just ate the burger. I did order 2 orders of onion rings for everybody to share. And I did eat some onion rings, but I didn't eat the bread and I didn't eat the French fries. So I think I did pretty good. I just ate the burger and a few onion rings, but I was drinking alcohol anyway. So yeah,
that'll do it to you.
And that was the other thing. So I was driving home at 5. I was going home at 5. So this was like 11:30, 12. I said, I'm going to have 1 drink now. And then I'm not going to drink for the rest of the day. So I had my 1 gin and tonic, which was very good. And that was it. That was going to be it.
Mm.
So we hung out with our friends and this is a good story. So Wendy was there, John, her husband, John, Madison, Jordan, Rebecca, Samantha, and that guy whose name I don't remember. We were there and then we decided we were going to go up to Outer Rim. Again, I tend to walk in the front. I tend to walk ahead. I don't know why. I'm really a slow person, so I don't know, but I always lead the way.
Yeah, you're on a mission when you get in the parks. A lot of times you have Michael with you, so it just seems like it's almost like you're always on your way to a ride that you're almost late for. That's the way I could explain it.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, kind of.
I didn't realize it until Samantha said it, but then when I thought about it, I was in the front again.
Mm-hmm.
So I was getting on the escalator going up to Outer Rim, which is on the 4th floor next to Chef Mickey's. And I'm on the escalator and none of my friends are following. None of my friends are following. And I look behind me and I'm like, what is the deal? Why aren't you guys following me? And there's this man at the bottom of this escalator looking up at me and he goes, bye, Toni-Ann, and scared the freak out of me because I didn't know why this man knew my name. Now, everybody else who was on the bottom said their version of the story is there's this man who's blocking the escalator. They can't get on. And they were like, excuse me, sir, are you going on the escalator? And he told them, I'm just waiting for Toni-Ann to notice me. So I didn't know who this guy was. So I wait. So, my favorite spot in Walt Disney World is the 2nd floor of the Contemporary. I just plop myself on one of the couches waiting for my friends. And the gentleman came up to me and introduced himself. And it was our friend, John Self, who he participates in the Friends of the Disney Crush. We've known him online for a while and I had never met him in person. So he was a really nice guy. He was telling me about his work. He's working on some new project. He said it's like touring plans for restaurants. So we'll have to see how his project comes along.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So we wound up going up to Outer Rim. There were a bunch of us there. And for the second time, I've noticed the water, like if you ask for a glass of tap water at the Contemporary, it's disgusting. It's very swampy. It's gross. The Contemporary water, they don't give you filtered water from the soda fountain. They give you tap water, which is very gross tasting. Their tap water at the Contemporary. And I had it happen last year and I forgot how gross it tasted. And it still tastes gross. The water at the Contemporary.
You should have told him. You should have said, look, this is gross.
Yeah. So anyway, but I was just drinking water at this point because I was going home. Remember, I was going home, Dave.
Of course you were. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We're doing a monorail crawl at this point. And the next stop for the monorail crawl would be the Poly.
Mm-hmm.
So we got back on the monorail on the 4th floor, went to the Poly, went to the Tambu Lounge, which was really packed. We wound up having to find another spot next to the Mercantile in the front of the second floor of the Poly, near where you go out for the monorail, kind of catty corner from the Kona coffee stand. And I was not drinking because I was going home, so I got myself a Kona iced coffee, and everybody else was having their lapus out of their pineapples and all that fun stuff. Oh, and Jen Pulliam was there too. I don't know, she was there too. I don't know why she's not in my picture, because I was just looking at pictures and I don't see her in this picture. So I don't know where she. Oh my God, she's standing right next to me in the picture. Jen Pulliam was there too. Sorry, Jen.
I'm starting to worry about you, Toni-Ann.
She's literally right. You know what? She's so skinny that I didn't see her in that picture.
You're going on the wrong monorails. You're missing people that are standing next to you. You got people you don't know yelling your name out.
Yeah, Jen Pulliam was there too. So we're at the Poly. I'm drinking my coffee. They're all drinking their lapus and yummy tropical drinks. Scott and Karen had joined us by this point. Yeah, they joined us at Outer Rim. John Self was there. Jason Svoboda did show his face toward the end of our time at the Poly. And so I got to meet him for the first time. And I met John for the first time. Some point in that whole transaction between the Outer Rim and the Poly, I started getting some, can't you stay? Why don't you stay? You should stay. Stay. And Madison and Jordan were getting the same guilt pangs from our friends. We were all supposed to leave like 4 or 5 o'clock.
You know what they did?
Yeah.
They slipped you a Mickey.
No.
A Mickey Mouse. They slipped you the Mickey Mouse.
They slipped me a Mickey Mouse, right?
Yeah.
So I called Rich and, they were going to Morimoto for dinner, which is one of my favorite restaurants. And I've been wanting to go there with my friends who like eat on a similar way that I do, that like fine dining like I do. I've been wanting to go to Morimoto with them for months. So, but their dinner reservation wasn't until 7. And if I ate dinner at 7, we'd probably get out of there at 9. And then I couldn't drive home because I wouldn't want to drive home on that road in the dark because there's no street lights on that road.
No, it's a very rural, dark road. Yes, it's a 2-lane road. A lot of big trucks and deer and stuff.
Right. So I called Richard. I wish I'd recorded the call.
Yeah, tell us how, if you can, in a nutshell, tell us how that went.
He said, "So is this the time you call Dad and ask if you could sleep over your friend's house?" And that's exactly what it was. I was calling Dad to see if I could sleep over my friend's house. And he said, of course you can. Do what you want. You're an adult. So I immediately went over to Tambu Lounge and got a pina colada.
Yeah. Did you have a floater on top?
No, no, I didn't. I didn't need one. Yeah. And at the same time, unbeknownst to me, Madison and Jordan are on their phones looking to change flights. And it was outrageous to change flights to the next day. But if they change it to Monday, it would be a nominal fee. So instead of flying home on Saturday, they flew home on Monday.
That's it. See how easy that is? They morphed their trip right into another couple of days too.
Right. So now I'm going to Morimoto, but first we're going to stop at Topolino's and find our friends from Maine. We're going to catch up with them because they had been at Epcot all day. Also, Trey caught up with us at some point, but I think he tore away for a little while at that point. He was at the Poly with us though. So we got to Topolino's and we had some drinks. Laura Nothnagel had arrived by that time. Jen Wynn was with the girls from Maine. So we reconvened. All the gang was together. I had a French Rose. The French Rose is a refreshing cocktail featuring Grey Goose Le Citron vodka, Combière Crème de Pamplemousse. I can't even pronounce this. Rose liqueur, raspberry, agave, lemon, and soda water.
Wow,
it was really good.
That's a combination. That's a combination.
It had a a piece of ruby red grapefruit in it too. So I don't know. It was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. Some people got apps. I didn't get any apps. They did have that Topolino's bread, which is like, it looks like all spiky. And they served that with olive oil. They did have that. And some people had appetizers, but we were going to Morimoto. So, I didn't want to ruin my appetite for Morimoto.
Yeah, save it for the duck.
Right. We took a bunch of lifts. I think we got 2 or 3 lifts and took them to Disney Springs after we had a few drinks at Topolino's. And, the Ubers, they drop you off. This is the thing I don't understand about Disney Springs. The Ubers drop you off on the side and you have to go through security. If you drive to Disney Springs and you go through the parking garage, you have to go through security. If you take a bus to Disney Springs from one of the Disney resorts, you don't have to go through security. I don't get it. I don't know why. Like, why do they think that people coming from the resorts are like not? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that either.
Yeah. So we went to Morimoto. Yeah, it's one of my favorite restaurants. We had a lot of different things.
Now, I know the last couple times you've been there, the duck has been a little subpar.
No, not at all.
No, I thought you said it wasn't.
No, that was Citrico's.
Oh, okay.
No, the duck
okay.
at Morimoto's never been subpar. It's always been delicious.
I'm getting these mixed up. Okay, Citrico's was the one. Okay.
Yeah. So no, we did. So there were a bunch of us at the table. I think there were 6 of us at our table. We had 2 tables. There was a big table of 10, and then there was our table of 6. So it was Amanda Lamb, Jen Wynn, Laura Nothnagel, Rebecca Rudin, and that guy whose name I just cannot remember for the life of me. We sat together. Most of us there at that table are foodies, so we were excited to sit together. And we had Rebecca ordered we all kind of just said what we wanted, and Rebecca ordered for us to share as a table. We got the spare ribs. We got the full order of spare ribs, which is 6 spare ribs. Those Morimoto spare ribs are amazing. Much better than the ones that I made using the recipe. We did have the duck, and we did get it with the bao buns. And now you have the option of rice or noodles as a side for the duck. So we got the noodles. They were good. We got the spicy ramen, the Sapporo spicy miso ramen, and Amanda wanted that, and we all got to try it. They gave us little bowls so we could try it. That was really good. We got the Morimoto Boribap. It was so good, Dave. It's Korean style yellowtail in a rice bowl, served in a hot clay pot and finished with egg yolk. So they come to the table, and this bowl is 450 degrees, and the server cooks the fish on the side of the bowl. He puts the fish up on the side of the bowl and lets it sear for a few minutes, and then takes it, and then he mixes it all up, and he cooks the egg in the hot bowl, the 450 degree bowl. It was so good. It was really, really good. We really enjoyed that. We also got the Loco Moco, which is a special that I'm not seeing on the recipe on the website, but it was something that had been recommended to us from our friend Tori Hunt. Loco Moco is a Hawaiian specialty. It says limited time, but it's been on the menu since Princess, which was in February at least, because Tori had it. It's a house blended burger with A5 Wagyu and filet mignon, served over a sizzling rice bowl topped with a sunny side up cage-free egg and teriyaki mushroom gravy. So it's a bed of rice with this burger, but it's a burger made with the best beef you can get, and this teriyaki mushroom gravy and a sunny side up egg that just melts. Tori had told us it comes in this sizzling pan. She said, smash the rice into the pan so that it gets all crackly, you know. So kind of cook the rice. So as soon as it came, we pushed the rice down into the pan and we let it sit for a few minutes, and it was really, really good. It was really, really good. I'm so glad I sat at the table with the other foodies. The other thing was we got vegetables with tofu because Rebecca said we should get vegetables, and I don't think I had some, but the vegetables were the least touched thing on the table.
Yeah.
I think that's everything we got. The ramen was good. It was spicy. And, but that burry bop was amazing. And the loco moco was great. And the duck, as always, was delicious. That's the way to go there, is to go with friends and try different things. And it's still one of my favorite places to go at Disney.
Yeah. I don't think I've never been there.
You need to come with me.
Yeah.
You need to come. You need to. Yeah, we need to go. Let's go this weekend. No.
Okay, sure.
No, I can't go for 30. I can't go for 26 more days.
I know, but it's just on my diet. It's just so hard because I can't eat. I can't eat all those
25 more
carbs.
days. You could eat the duck.
Yeah, I could eat the duck. Yeah.
You could eat the burger in the local moco.
Yeah. But I want all the other stuff that goes with it. See, I know. So anyway, yeah, it's still one of my favorite restaurants. So now I'm spending the night, and Rebecca says, you could do laundry. Cause I had a dress on. I had a pair of, bike shorts under my dress. It was a hot, sweaty day, and I was not looking forward to wearing these same clothes over again the next day. And she said, well, you can do laundry in our suite, because they had a 1-bedroom villa at Kidani. Well, look at that. It's just a perfect scenario, a perfect storm.
But Dave, what was I going to wear?
Well, I don't know. You could ask that guy that you can't think of his name and wear one of his T-shirts, maybe.
I don't think I'd fit in one of his T-shirts. He's tiny. So he doesn't wear T-shirts. He's usually topless.
Oh, that's true. That's true. He doesn't wear shirts. That's right.
So anyway, I didn't mean to say he's tiny. He's all muscle. He's all muscle when he doesn't have a shirt on. Anyway, so I needed something to wear to bed so that I could do laundry, because I was going to be sharing a bed with Samantha, and I didn't, I don't think it would be proper for me to, sleep in the buff sharing a bed with Samantha. She might not appreciate that. So I said, well, we're at Disney Springs. I'm going to need to find something to wear to sleep so that I could do my laundry. And Amanda Lamb said, go to Uniqlo. It's much cheaper than buying clothes from a Disney gift shop. And she's right. But I didn't think they had anything that fit me, because Dave, I'm a plus size girl. I shop at plus size stores. So I knew that the World of Disney had a few plus size items. So I figured I would go there, but I was going to pay a small fortune for pajamas. So I walked over to World of Disney, but if you know Disney Springs, you can cut through Uniqlo. Uniqlo is a huge store, and you can cut through to get to World of Disney from where I was coming from. I cut through Uniqlo, and I saw like little shorts, little terry short, like sweatpants shorts. And I looked and I said, well, I'll try. They weren't very expensive. And I said, well, then I'm going to need a t-shirt. And I walked over and I found a t-shirt on the rack. And I said, well, I got the biggest size they had. And I went and I said, I tried them on, and sure enough, they fit. So I was amazed. So I actually wore regular person size clothing to bed. And that was amazing for me, because I haven't worn regular size person clothing in at least 11 years. So I was like, yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was great. Yeah, I love Uniqlo. Uniqlo's great.
It really was. So that was exciting. They were all over at Gideon's. And so I went toward Gideon's, and I suddenly realized I didn't have my phone. I don't know, Dave, you know me and my phone.
Mm-hmm.
How could I live without my phone? I went through my backpack. It wasn't in my backpack. I didn't have my phone. Went back to Morimoto. Maybe I left it on the table. They didn't have my phone. I saw Madison sitting outside of Gideon's. I said, I'm going to go to Uniqlo and see. Maybe I left it when I tried on my clothes. And she said, well, let me come with you because if you get lost, nobody's going to find you and you don't have a phone. So she said, first, let me try to call your phone. So we were outside Gideon's, right next to Raglan Road. And she called my phone and my phone's not ringing. So we go to Uniqlo, we look where I tried on my shirt, and it wasn't there. So she said, let me try to call it again. Because maybe you left, maybe it's in the store, but so she tried to call it again and my backpack started ringing. It was in my backpack, Dave. When she tried to call me in front of Raglan Road, there was a band playing and I couldn't hear it.
Oh my gosh, Toni-Ann.
Yeah. So yeah, it was in my backpack the whole time. So
It sounds like when you lost your mask and it was on your neck that time.
That's true. Forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. I'm starting to worry about you. The monorail now. Now it's the phone. I mean, we're seeing a consistent pattern here, Toni-Ann. That's not very good.
So that was that. We all reconvened. We all got Ubers back to Kidani. Well, me and Sam and Jen Wynn, we were staying there. So we got back to Kidani. It was really funny because, a bunch of them are at Homecoming and they all have those squeezy bottles from Homecoming where you get the cheap refills on moonshine and even cheaper refills on regular beverages. And the moonshine, $12. So you buy the squeeze bottle for $22. The refills are $12. And if you get soft drinks, they're free. So Samantha had one of those refillable bottles and wanted to fill it before we went back to the hotel. Trey said, give it to me. I'll go get it. So he went and he got her a refill and we went back to Kidani and she was sipping on it and she said, gee, this seems really weak. And she gave it to me. She said, what do you think? And I tasted it and I was like, yeah, I don't taste any alcohol in this. So we went back to Kidani and she poured it into a wine glass and she added Prosecco to it. And we were like, oh my God, we're drinking moonshine with Prosecco. And like the next morning we saw Trey at breakfast and he said, yeah, I didn't get you any alcohol. You guys had enough at that point.
Oh,
so I
no.
just got you. That was just punch. That was just fruit punch.
Oh, Trey's looking out for him. Okay.
Yeah. But we added Prosecco to it. So.
Hey.
So, went to Kidani. Kidani's beautiful. I did my laundry. I slept. And Samantha had her sleep sack. So she sleeps in a sleep sack, I don't know if you know that about her.
No, I do not know that. No.
Yeah. So she had her sleep sack and I slept next to her and that was it. And then I told Rich I would come home after breakfast.
That's what you told us too. Yes. Okay. So what happened, Toni-Ann?
Well, breakfast was brunch at Homecoming at 11 o'clock. So 11:15 actually. Mm-hmm. So by the time brunch was done and, there were like 16 of us. So, when they get the bill together for 16 people and everybody's saying their goodbyes and blah, blah, blah. And so it was like 1 o'clock by the time we left Homecoming. And then I still had to get a treat for my kids. So I did mobile order from Amorette's, which was really nice. The kids got macarons and brownies and Rich got an eclair. But so I mobile ordered from Amorette's and then I went home. Well, then I had to go back to Kidani for my car and then I went home.
Well, there's that. You got to get that car, right?
Yeah. So, yeah. Well, and that was my weekend.
That sounds like a blast. It sounds like I wish I'd have been there.
With my friends. Yeah. And I did fail to mention that guy whose name I can't remember, he kept giving me drinks. He kept going, here, try this, you should try this.
Okay.
I think he was, I don't think he's a bad influence.
Unlike Trey, who was looking out for something. Yeah.
Trey was looking out for us.
Right.
He was like, here's your refill. And it was non-alcoholic. The other person was trying to get me drunk.
The one whose name we don't know.
I can't remember for the life of me. No, I don't
was enabling your drinking. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, is this the same guy that doesn't wear shirts? Was that the one guy? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Same guy. Yeah.
Okay.
So I had a lot of fun. I'm really glad I went. I'm really glad I got to see everybody. And it just made me even more excited for G3 that we're going to see everybody at the end of September. If you don't know, it's Geeking on Walt Disney World, which is our friend Kurt Stone's podcast. He has a meetup every 18 months or so when our friend Kevin Curtis Allen comes from the UK. And it's going to be September the 28th until October 1st, with some people arriving before and some people leaving after. So if you want to see us, well, that's the next time we'll be at the parks.
Looking forward to it.
And everyone is welcome. So, just reach out to us. Let us know you'll be there.
Yeah,
And,
just call out Toni-Ann's name. And she'll be there.
Right.
She'll
Stand at the
there.
bottom of the escalator and say, bye-bye, Toni-Ann.
That's
And then
right.
you'll find me.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't awkward at all.
No, our last podcast was FOMO or JOMO. JOMO is the joy of missing out. And I proclaimed that I have JOMO, and it wasn't that really big of a deal because I knew I was going to see everybody at G3.
Right.
But now that it's kind of passed and now I'm hearing about all the stories and all the fun you had, I had JOMO with a tad of FOMO.
Okay.
So that's good. I'm glad you had a good time.
Well, we're going to have fun in a couple of weeks
Sure.
together. We're going to do some new things and yeah, we'll have fun in a few
What do you mean
weeks.
there's new things to do at Disney? Can't be. We've done it
Of course
all.
there's new things to do at Disney.
No, we've done it all, Toni-Ann. We've always
We've
seen
not
it,
done it
been there,
all.
done it. Come on.
We haven't even scratched the surface.
All right. Well, sounds
No.
good, like a good time. I can't wait.
Yeah, we had a great time. We really did. And it was good to see our friends. And Jen Pulliam, who was there too, but I forgot in the beginning of this whole.
Well, she was
Trip
standing
report.
right next to you. I could see how you
She was
could
standing
forget.
right next to me in the picture.
Yeah, I could see how you could forget her. She's standing right next to you. It's simply an oversight. You lose your
Mhm.
phone. You've looked through your
That's
backpack.
true.
You
I
can't
lost
find.
my phone in my backpack. I
right,
lost the
yeah.
mask around my neck.
Yeah.
So Jen, don't take it personally that I didn't see you in the picture right
No,
next to me.
She gets on the wrong monorails. I don't know. All right, Toni-Ann, anything else?
I don't think so, Dave. We will see you at the end of the month on the next Disney Crush podcast.
Sounds like a plan. All right, so that's going to do it for this week's Disney Crush podcast. You know where to follow us. Everywhere. We're everywhere, Toni-Ann. Just about. Except for on iTunes. Yeah.
That was another thing. Dave, on Wednesday morning, I went to do my walk and the podcast wasn't there at 6. And I waited like all day and the podcast still wasn't there. And I had to restart my iTunes. It was there. It was my phone.
Oh,
I had
okay.
to restart my iTunes.
Well, okay, you're leaving out a big part of this.
Yeah, because I messaged Dave and I said, we're not on iTunes. What happened?
And I'm like,
he
what are
said,
you talking about? And I quickly started looking, and I'm like, well, we're on iHeart, we're on Pandora,
Mhm.
we're on
Mm-mm.
all these podcatchers that I listen to. I'm like, no, we're everywhere. I don't know what your problem is. I said it's those darn Apple phones, those iPhones.
Right.
Yeah, you can't
But
trust
it
them.
wasn't. It was me. It was
Oh,
the
okay.
operator.
Okay, operator error. See, now there's that. We need to really talk about this, Toni-Ann. You
Dave,
see,
I'm 51. I'm getting old.
No, that's no excuse.
I think you're going to
No.
have to take my privileges away.
all right,
Maybe I need to go into a home. I don't know.
Toni-Ann, go. If you've been getting enough sleep, go get some sleep. Let's go.
I'm not getting enough sleep.
Then-
I'll be honest
okay.
with you. I'm not. I'm doing, yeah. 'Cause
You
this-
need
this-
sleep. That's what it
This
is.
new phase of the live hard year is more than the 75 days. It's more stuff.
Well,
So I have been up later.
Well, let me tell you, sleep is a huge, huge thing. You need to.
I know.
You need your sleep.
I know.
You need your sleep.
I know.
I know. It's like when I did P90X.
Mhm.
The rest days were brutal. I'm like, wait a minute, this is not a rest day. 40, hour and a half of yoga, of intense
Yeah.
yoga. No, that's
Uh-huh.
not called a rest day. Get out of here. So I could see you're probably in that phase now. Well, it's okay. Just keep with it. You'll be all right. Okay. All right, Toni. All right. So
All right.
we'll see you.
Have a good day.
It's a night.
Oh. All right. Have a good night.
Okay. See you, Toni.
All right, Dave. Have a good one.
I think that's it. All right.